Alright, good morning everybody. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving week and holiday weekend. I actually caught the flu pretty bad right before Thanksgiving, so apologize about not being able to upload any more videos as promised. If you're just joining us, last week we ended on a small loss, but we managed it well. The reason we took that loss, it's important to know why we were wrong. We had suspected that maybe we were fighting the low of the week on a Tuesday, and that's exactly what that was. I suffered from a bit of confirmation bias. In my previous week's analysis, everything was pointing towards down, and I think everybody was expecting down as well, so that's what we got. A little bit of a down, went past down last week's important low, and then we just rocket shipped from there all the way up. I really think that we're just going to see a bunch of chopper back and forth until the end of the year, and we're going to be a little bit careful this week as well, not only because of that, but because it's NFP week as well. So for the particular week's profile, we're going to be doing a little bit of analysis before equity open, but it seems, I'll show you here in a bit, but it seems like NAS might have a small amount to go up still. Whereas SPX and ES, I think, have made the majority of their move upwards. They may want to go and continue and fill in this gap, or the SIBI, but I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Let me pop my real account, the Hugo's Way real account, and the Ftmo account up on the screen real quick, and then we'll go from there. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this SIBI. So we're on NAS, or NAS right now. I'm going to go ahead and mark this out. And we'll pull that to about the middle of the week. Right about there. Get this music down a little bit so you can hear me better. That should be good. If you use TradingView, it's always nice to have some drawing templates set up here. As you can see, I've got my different events, and these lines are different colors and things like that. So I'm going to go with daily. Bam, there we go. All right, so if you measure how far away we are, we're only from where price is right now. Before we started the week, we were about 300 points, which is about an average daily range recently, about an average daily range away from here. We've already dug in, if you look down here where my cursor is, we've dug into this busy. Here's where we got wrecked last week, thinking it was going to come down and dig a little bit further, at least to the EQ. Obviously that was incorrect. It could still do that to maybe form the low of the week. I seem to think it's going to come all the way back up here at least one more time and touch this. The reason I think that is if you look at ES or even SPX, notice how it's gone up in its SIBI already, but it hasn't filled it in. We may see what ICT calls a sympathy play for NAS. And if that's the case, then that matches nicely with what I'm looking to do this week, which is to get in really early, first part of the week. So we do something like this. Do some crazy movement for NFP or something. We could see something like that instead of your standard weekly profile. What we need to do is just mark out, as ICT says, mark out your daily and your 4-hour PD arrays that are a capping or above or below price, and we're just going to see which day that PD array gets tagged, and we should have paid attention to that last week, so that's the reason why we took our loss last week. But we did manage it well according to the plan, so that was nice. Alright, we got about 20-ish, 18 minutes till equity opens, so I'm going to stop farting around here and get down to the lower time frames. This is one of those, it could go either way weeks. We don't have a lot of high expectations, but let's just take a look here at what we're going to see pre-equity. Okay, so the weekly high is nearby. There's a 1-hour fair value gap near the weekly high. Let's pop on up to the weekly candle real quick. Interesting. Alright, so there's no wick on the top of the weekly candle. That's almost certainly going to, well, I don't know, look at this weekly candle here, you see? And then look on the weekly chart, do you see the body of this order block? The order block is actually framing the SIBI. That's a good confluence there. And the fact that we just quite haven't reached up into the meat or the body of that order block, that's kind of sus for me. I think that, you know, if I had to guess, particularly with all this liquidity being taken down here last week, I think that, it would be reasonable for us to come up here at least one more time before we shit the bed. So all signs are pointing up, but as far as the day is concerned, we still don't know. You just have to wait for the lower time frame during equity, and that's what we're going to be doing here. So let's go back down to the 1 hour. And you guys just give me a few minutes, I'm going to do my markups. Okay, also we've got, the only thing we have today on the economic calendar is FOMC Speaker Bullard, I believe. Let's pop back over here to today. Yeah, so he's going to be speaking at 11 a.m., which is 10 a.m. our time. 10 a.m. is the end of the window for me to be looking for setups anyways, so I think it's nice that we should be able to get in and get out real quick and do a quick scalp today before any of this nonsense happens. If not, then we'll have to wait for about 15-30 minutes after this. Perhaps actually just wait until after lunch, and then we can go from there. I also want you guys to notice, do you see here with this 1 hour fair value gap how we've got the discount line of the fair value gap formed by this candle's wick here. It's also forming nearly equal highs with Monday's London session of last week. And we're about, we're only 32 pips there. So yeah, let's see. I think we could have a nice little trade today. Let's see what happens. Ideally, I'd be looking for something like this, just to bounce back and forth between arrays since it's sandwiched essentially. So we've got our equal highs or nearly equal highs here. We've got, if you notice, we've got a 15-minute fair value gap nested inside of this 1 hour fair value gap. If you've done a lot of back testing on this strategy at this time, and what I mean by time is equity open, you'll find a lot of the times there's an hourly array right below or above price, and equity open will drive into that array and then use it to reverse. Sometimes it goes straight through, blast right through it, but more often than not you'll see it as a support or resistance, true support or resistance. Alright, so this low here, sitting right above the 1 hour bullish order block, there's actually nearly equal lows. Here, take a look at this guy over here. Hanging out right there. I'm almost certain this will get tapped today. It looks really juicy, so I've got my eyes peeled. I don't really hold a bias either way at this point, and I'm going to be ready to go either way, just depending on what we see when we get our setups. Hey guys, if you haven't already, if you are watching this after the stream, or even if you get here on the stream, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe. We're a brand new YouTube channel. I'm never going to do any of these corny thumbnails with the O faces, and it's just stupid. It actually drives me crazy when I see people doing that. You're also, I'll tell you what else I'll never do. I'm never going to try to reinvent or improve or remove anything from ICT's strategy to try to make it better or promote it or get more views. It's just never going to happen. I like to stick to the basics and keep it simple, and that's what I'm always going to do. I will never sell out. I don't really care. I don't care to be a fake person just to try to get views. So if I have to stream to myself this entire time, I'll do that. Just happy in the fact that I'm being authentic and hopefully providing some sort of value. Okay, I don't want you guys to get confused. I'm going to go ahead and make this blue like I usually do my buy-side liquidity lines, capping the market, even though it's also a fair value gap discount line, which is typically yellow for us, that you'll see in my chart. And then let's go ahead and mark out our most obvious, not necessarily the one that it'll get to first, but the most obvious sell-side liquidity. And of course we make that red always. Okay, and so we've got about 4 minutes to equity open. What we'll do here is we'll drop down to a 5-minute, and we will wait for any of these 15-minute levels to get broken in a significant way. And then we'll wait for our setup parameters according to our trade execution plan, and we'll go from there, see if we can catch a trade today. It's about 1 minute to showtime. So if we look overnight, let's see what we got here. Okay, so we've swept Friday's low already. And then we had a fair value gap here. So I think what we're going to look for actually is we've got most of our parameters met, it looks like already. We had a liquidity grab over London. And if we can get any type of retracement into a fair value gap, we'll take that as a continuation play. Unless we see some sort of strong movement down from here, which should be expected normally. Remember we had that nested 15-minute fair value gap inside this 1 hour. This has been taken, by the way. Buy side's been taken. So we can bring that back so you're not confused. If you wanted to be really aggressive, you could short here, right here at this EQ. see, 8:34, about 3 to 4 minutes in, we've got just straight up. And there's no structure on the downside for us to see a market structure break. There's not a swing low anywhere near us. So I think we're going to continue to go up here, at least in the short term. Yeah, look at this. This could just be a gigantic low resistance liquidity run that we're seeing here. That would bring us back up near, it would cover a lot of distance and bring us back within like a day of the daily SIBI. Let's take a look at what ES is doing. Yeah, look at that, that's crazy. ES took its low. We didn't see that on NAS. So we're straight up today. And I think I'd like to maybe let's go ahead and go long off this EQ if it comes back down to it. If I see it form a tail and touch this EQ and react strongly off of that, then I'm going to go ahead and go long at a reduced position size. Just given the conditions for the week, NFP and December, start of the month coming. We also have the option to use the premium line. If it breaks, then comes back down and touch it, we could use that as well and catch a quick scalp off that. It's all about patience, guys. It's running away from us from the beginning, but I'm not going to chase it. Looking at ES seems to confirm that we might be going up for the day without coming down here and touching any of this stuff down here. Well, let's just wait and find out. Okay, that's me getting long here. And if we're wrong, we'll find out very quickly. If we're wrong, we're going to lose about 1.5% on the account. Daily looks good for continuation to the upside. Targeting the daily busy. Or at least last week's high. I think that's what we'll shoot for. Okay, we're going to watch very carefully how it interacts with the premium line here. And I don't want to see it come back down under the EQ, so let's see here. We've got 30-point stop loss. We can reduce that to our standard 25. That'll bring our risk to about 1%. With slippage, probably be a little bit over 1%, maybe 1.1. Yeah, so we've got on the 30-second, it becomes a lot more clear. If you look at all, so we've taken sell side liquidity on the 30-second below these lows into a fair value gap, into a 1 minute order block. We seem to be on side for now, but remember at, here in about 15 minutes or so, sometimes that can form the top of the day. And we all know that Mondays, even though it's expansion, Monday typically doesn't form the low or the high of the week. It can, and it does sometimes, but most of the time it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday type deal, with the Tuesday, Wednesday being the highest probability. see. Given what I'm seeing on the 30-minute, I feel comfortable pulling my stop loss all the way up to this EQ like we had wanted to do in the first place. So that's what I'm going to do. And we could still see a retest of the premium line. So let's check and see what happens with that. I think we just tapped what ICT would call a propulsion block. We should see some really aggressive movement upwards from here. If not, I think something could be wrong. Maybe we exhausted our upward movement for the day. But it's doubtful considering how much we've surpassed the premium line of the 1 hour fair value gap. All right, we also don't want to see a close below the EQ of this block here. If we do, then we need to get the heck out of here. Yeah, I don't like how that looks so far. If we don't see anything rapid movement upwards from here, then I'm exiting on a scratch. And I'll probably need to see that within the next 5 minutes. can be really scary sometimes to watch this stuff come right back down after you're in profit and just erase all of your gains. But typically that's what it does. It comes one more time, retest a bunch of stuff, freak people out, grab some more liquidity, and then it's on its way. We seem like we may get something like that here. Let's just find out. It's not looking very good right now, guys. We had about 1,200 in open flow profit that just melted away, so we're going to be taking a loss if it continues to dick around here for any longer. Trying to figure out, there's a spread difference. I'm trying to figure out where the bottom, the FEG is on FTMOs. Let's see where that is. Right about there, yeah. We'll go to about 1500, yeah. See, this is 1702. This is about 6 points above, so 1708 is where the yeah. So depending on how we treat this, this could actually be a short entry. If we were wrong, this would be our short entry. I want to see how it treats this FVG, and if it just can't get back above that, then we're out. Yeah, we're out. We're gonna flip. Well, let's see, 9 o'clock? No. Okay, so this hourly candle. Yeah, there we go. All right, so yeah, this is what we're looking for. We just had to see it at 9. Let's see how far up this hourly candle will dig. We can get past that little FVG area right here, then we know we're right on the day. If not, then we need to flip because it's going to go in and attack that order block that we showed you, the opposing hourly fair value gap. So that's only if it's done with buy side. Tricky day today, guys, tricky day. We got our downside market structure break here as well. Part of the reason we're holding so strongly for an upside move is because of the way that the weekly candle looked. Monday should go take out Sunday's high. Typically, it won't leave no wick at the top of the weekly candle, but I could go either way at this point. We're inside of a 4-hour gap as well. So when you're in a situation like this, and you see this hourly wick that we just formed on the last hour, a good spot to look for whether it's going to continue or reverse is typically the halfway point of that wick. So if we measure that out, we can find what price level that would be. Which is about, so a third to a half, but I like to go to the EQ to the half of the wick. This is about 1744, came about 5 points away from that, so. Although we gotta be real careful how it's reacting to the premium here. So we're up a good profit now. Go above the premium line. Tricky day, y'all. Tricky day. Looks like we were just turtle souping the 1 hour, but we still could do some crazy stuff. So we should at least get down to the discount here, hopefully, if we're correct on the direction now. Or we flip short. Yeah, we flip short right about here. And if it's done with buy side like we think it is, then it should aggressively move down from here. And at least to the discount. Yeah, there you go. There we go. I want to take another half, or let's say a third of my position off here, so close to it. Let's call that 15. Ooh, look at that. That's aggressive. Makes me want to take my ball and go home. Yeah, I'm collapsing that trade. I don't like how prices do. I just don't like this. And we've got news coming up. I don't like this at all. So even with the, yeah, see, look at that. On the 15-minute, we came down and hit a 15-minute fair value gap. What a crazy day, guys. Look at that garbage. So the question now becomes, you know, would it be appropriate to re-enter a fresh trade before news? And I'd say that's, you know, not likely. So we netted a $300 gain. We broke even essentially on the real account, but the $300 gain on the Ftmo account, which is not much. We were floating in 1,000 equity. Floating equity was about 1,000 both ways when we went long and short. This is just a nightmare so far. This is what you gotta expect right before the news. Look at this garbage. All right, so we went long. Let's just do a quick recap while we're waiting for price to do its crazy thing. We went long here from this little spike down to the EQ, thinking it was going to go a little bit further and maybe attack some more buy side, and we were wrong about that. So when it came back down in here, we scratched the trade for a small loss. and then we watched this happen, and then this fair value gap right here is what we shorted on. Took some profits, took half profits as it was down here. And actually, looks like we may have been right about this. Now digging back into a 15-minute fair value gap on the bull side. Just super tricky price action, man. I stand corrected on the real account. We lost about $1.35, which is it's not much at all. So that's not bad. On the 4 hour, it looks like we did our play and we came up into a 4 hour fair value gap. Well, actually, I don't know. Let's look at the high of this. $1164.8, 1168.6. Yeah, so we got in there. So we dug into a 4 hour bearish fair value gap here. And we do have those lows sitting below the, or sitting right above these 1 hour blocks down here, denoted by this 1 hour, or excuse me, by this liquidity. I see a continuation forming. And what's the EQ of this range? What a tricky morning, people. Normally what you'd see is it come up to the EQ, sometimes it can get to the premium, but it doesn't really overshoot that much, and then it'll just dump from there, and the day is just down. Although ICT does also say when it's straight up for the day and then you have what looks like a reversal, that typically it'll come down to equity levels. Yeah, that's looks like what's going to happen. Yeah, and the 4 hours giving me a lot of confidence here now. What I'd like to see is it come all the way down below, back to midnight open at the very least. Or at least down here into this area. Should be handsomely delivered to the sell side now. Let's see here. We get a little bit further down, further away from my entry. This little scalp entry of 25 very small position size. Once we get a little further away, I'm going to go to break even because we've got news coming up. So we got from the discount of the fair value gap, the 1 hour fair value gap that you see here, we took a close proximity entry. It's not exactly on point with where it was because we missed that. Let's look at our daily real quick. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, y'all, I'm going to at least reduce this down to about $100 loss. Well, it's right there in the fair value gap. If it comes up, it's going to come up, so we're just going to go break even with it. Yeah, there we go. Getting down, touching the order block here. So I'm going to close some of this. Let's call it 15. All right, so now we're banked. We banked another 280-ish. What a tricky day, guys. Nothing about that was clear at all. Okay, so we reached midnight open like we were hoping, and we are below equity open as well. So we ran above equity open, ran above midnight open, into a 1 hour fair value gap, into a 4 hour SIBI, and then we tapped the 4 hour fair value gap up here, which is a great sign. We have this long wick on the 4 hour, which tells me that this body was going to want to come down and take the low of this candle at the very least. 613, which coincides with the sell side resting right above these blocks, which is also a good sign. If we get some sort of major pop or spike upwards, then we'll be spiked out at break even, and we will have done decent for the day. I mean, maybe still crack our 1,000 that we were looking for. Potentially. Let's see what happens, because there's this order block here, if you guys can see that. We're in a, we've got a 1 minute fair value gap being formed or being tapped right now. Let's see how aggressive that gets. Continuation. I like that for continuation. I pyramided in right there. If we're wrong on that, we'll lose about $100, no big deal. And we can net 0 with our other position, so we'll be just fine. As far as the real account is concerned, we're almost back up to our highest equity point here. I don't like how it's reacting off this midnight so far, but we could just be consequent encroachment going to the, which is tapping the EQ of this and then dipping, which is likely. We still have this sell side right here. I don't know if you can see this. Got a low resistance LR, low resistance liquidity run, bam, all the way down to our obvious 15-minute sell side. News coming up in about 30 minutes as well. We've got a new 15-minute candle forming, so all those things are factors that we need to be looking out for. All right. Could get stopped out in profit or basically break even on the 15-minute here, but it looks like it formed its little baby wick up, and now we're probably just going to see a continuation candle down to the sell side, and then that would coincide well. That'd be good confluence with timing for the news coming out in 30 minutes. So we have this 15-minute candle. If it will expand further and continue the expansion down to the sell side target, that lines up pretty good with what I'm looking for, and then from there we'll have to see what news does to these sell side arrays down here. But let's see if we even get that before we get stopped out. Just adjusting the stop losses a little bit. Give us a fighting chance if it does come tap the fair value gap. It looks like it might just leave it alone, but we'll find out. This is usually the candle that will go up and tap the fair value gap if we're going to do it. If not, then we need to see it go really, really fast down. If we get anything other than an IOFED, then we're going to get stopped out on our... Actually, here, let's move this up a little bit. Okay, so we're in the fair value gap. Let's see if this breaker looking thing here will... No. Didn't look like it was holding. We're razor thin close to getting stopped out, y'all. I think the lesson here for me today is to be a little bit more nimble and take profits earlier. Just considering like where we are in the year and this particular week being NFP and a new month. So that's what we'll do better next time. At this point, we're basically almost guaranteed to get stopped. At least on the continuation position. I'm willing to lose a little bit of what we made today just to see if we can catch this in the rest of this run. If you look over here, this is the 1 minute. So we're in the 5-minute fair value gap right now, doing our business. This looks like a rebalanced price range to me. Here and here. We may need to come up to this area to do it, in which case we would be done. So in the 15-minute, we can see a clearer picture. Again, we just don't know. I mean, this This 15-minute candle, this next upcoming 15-minute candle here in about a minute, it may want to go up and retest the fair value discount line, and then we would not have a chance to participate to go down any further. I mean, I really want to get out anyways before the news, so let's hope it gives us a little bit more downside movement before that. We can catch a little bit more profit. Otherwise, we're going to be scratching, taking a small, tiny loss on the profit we had already made today. But still would be a good, healthy amount, considering the price action, and still be around 0.6% gain today. Okay, here's that 15-minute candle. Let's see how this goes. For now, it seems likely it could just come up and tap that fair value gap discount one more time. Just a very strong 15-minute candle. Not liking it at all. So we don't have a lot of room based on where we entered our continuation shorts. And this breaker here is just not, it's not doing anything for us so far. The original prediction on the day still looks like it was somewhat accurate. Okay, so price is finally being allowed to expand down further. This could just be a retest of the midnight open. But if it's not, then it will continue and sweep these nearly equal lows here, and then we'll continue on down through this low resistance liquidity run to get to our original SSL target from this morning, which would be fantastic to see, because then we'll net probably another 1%. That'd be a lot better than what we did for the day so far. Gonna go ahead and take some profits here. Just in case. Okay, so what we've done is we've actually recovered the loss that we had last week already. It seems obvious that this should be going down, but we've got the news, and that hourly candle could spike all the way up and hit this fair value gap from the hourly up here before tapping this, or it could do vice versa. We're inside of a little 1 minute fair value gap. We got to see this drop down aggressively, or I really think I'd like to scratch. So close to the news release, we're just going to scratch while we're still in profit here. And let's see, well, let's check the hourly first. Yeah. Well, tell you what. Let's just see how this plays out. All right, we could get some breathing room here on our entries. It looks like, yeah, a couple minutes before the news comes out. So what I'm gonna do, I want to get out of this one of these positions as soon as we cross over. If I see anything aggressively up here in about 15 seconds, then I'm going to get out of one of these and then consider scratching the other or leaving it to hit break even stop. All right, here we go. Here's the news, everybody. Not trying to take any more losses, so I went ahead and scratched that. There's that aggressive move up. So there's no bottom on the news hourly candle. The only question is how far up is it going to go? I mean, are we going to go sweep again into this 5-minute fair value gap? Are we going to go hit the 1 hour fair value gap again? It looks really aggressive right now, but let's just see how this goes. I'm considering just going to scratch here. So far, news has been pretty mild. Looks like we had somebody in the live chat. For some reason, it's subscribers only, but for some reason I can't even get into my own chat here. Again, I'm pretty brand new to streaming, so Chin Tushing Tum and Bayar, sorry if I'm butchering that name. Hey man, thanks for being here. I like your analysis with FEG. Thank you very much. I learned from the best, ICT, and you know, it's a tricky day today, but it looks like we made it work. Thanks for being here. Sorry I can't reply to you, but I appreciate your interaction with our stream, so thanks for that. Don't really like how long this is taking to go down. I think it might want to sweep up into the 5-minute fair value gap again. I'm not 100% confident that that's going to happen, but if we can't get broken below these recent lows in like the next couple minutes, then I definitely am going to have to get out and preserve capital. Hey, look at that. There we go. Great. All right, so we're finally seeing this low resistance liquidity run, more than likely at this point. We want to see this expand rapidly to the downside and at least get down here to touch this sell side liquidity. And of course, these blocks here, we've got a 1 hour breaker block, this blue, nested inside of a 1 hour order block, bullish order block. At the moment, midnight open has been providing a really strong support for us, but that's likely to break. All right, there's that expansion, at least some of what we wanted here. It's still in internal range liquidity relative to this. Let me make sure you can see this. Relative, oh man, look at that. That's a really aggressive reaction here. Yeah, I mean, we can try to catch that even 4,000, but doing that typically wrecks you. I'm outie 5,000. See ya. Yeah, so close the Ftmo position. Just because I don't want to give anything back on that. And we're just taking forever. We formed a bottom on the 1 hour news candle. It should continue a little bit lower, but should is not definitely, you know. In fact, let me go ahead and take profits on the real account. We're done for the day. And the net result is that we're plus 200 from where we started last week when we were in our loss. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to demo trade down, because the safest thing to do is to close on these spikes. Uncertainty, news, already made moves for the day. Got our loss from last week back. We got a little bit of profit. Real account is about halfway recovered from its highest equity point. And I'm going to take a demo trade just to show my brain psychologically, you know, hey, it's okay to get out. Yeah, because we can always trade demo. I'd like to go short my original position size. Yeah, even though I know it's probably going to go retrace up, this will reinforce for me that staying in would have been the wrong move. And even if it's not, then that's satisfying as well. So let's put our stop loss above this here. Where are we at? This fair value gap. Right about there. So we about 1.5%. And we're looking to nail, looks like 5%. Okay, y'all, that's going to do it for me on today's stream. I appreciate you watching. For the person who interacted in the comments, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Please consider becoming a subscriber. That helps us out. I don't know if you caught the first part of the stream, but I will never be doing these clickbaity thumbnails with a stupid soy shocked face, the guy with his oath. It's dumb. I won't ever do that. It enrages me when I see people do that. But that's just me. Yeah, so thanks for following along. To answer your question, by the way, I trade just according to the economic calendar that kind of dictates, you know, frames the days that I'm looking to trade. And then on average, I'll probably be taking anywhere from 3 to 5 trades a week, something like that. Just kind of depends. Price action is going to dictate that, essentially. Now, when do I stop trading? How much is too much for my plan? Well, I have a certain weekly target based on the Ftmo timing. I've got until December 15th. Of course, December's the terrible month, especially as we get closer to the holidays. Just terrible for trading. You shouldn't be trading. But as I started the Ftmo challenge a little bit late, I really don't have a choice in the matter. So I'd say I think anywhere from 2.5 to 3% gain on the account per week is exactly what I'm looking for. That'll give me 3 or 4 good weeks where I could safely pass this challenge. Now, have I tried before and failed? Yeah, absolutely. I tried to rush it. I tried to trade outside of a plan. I've failed about 4 FTMOs in the past, just trying to just rush as fast as possible. Interestingly, not the first challenge. On average, I'd pass the first challenge in the 3 or 4 days when I wasn't following a plan. But I'd have these huge equity swings back and forth, and it was just very difficult. So yeah, slow and steady runs the race. This FTMO challenge is a little different. I'm only following my trade system. I built my own trade system using FEG strategy. So ICT strategy plugs into my trading system. And you can, mathematically speaking, if you have the right the average RR, your win rate's not really that important. But if your RR and your win rates are where they need to be, then you can pretty much use any strategy with the system. So I actually wrote a book about this, and I created a system very easily from the steps that I've outlined in the book. That's on basetradegear.com. I make based meme-themed merchandise. We've got some pretty cool hoodies with GigaChat on there, and that's Forex related. Surprisingly, I found a way to do that. And then we also have Ziz Wojak, long live Ziz, RIP Aziz. If you don't know who Ziz is, you might want to get on that. And yeah, so if you guys want to go check out the merch, either the merch or the book, that's on basetradegear.com. Really appreciate it if you would like to support me in that way. I don't have like paid subscribers or anything like that. I figured I'd make some really nice dank merch in the form of a limited clothing drop. There's only 350 of every design that's ever going to be manufactured, and I'm shutting that part of the store down. The book, however, will be available for a very long time. Until the end of today, it will be... actually, I might just leave it where it's at. It's about $49. It was at $99. It's on sale right now. And the book is called A Clear Path to Profit, How to Win Like the Pros. And it basically shows you how the pros are using a system, and they don't really care about strategy as long as that strategy is mathematically profitable enough, right? So if the win rate is high enough and the RR that averages throughout the strategy is high enough, then these guys can do pretty much whatever they want and still turn a profit. Now, if you want to turn a healthy profit and consistent profit, then you have to use a system to do that. And that's where the book comes in. It teaches you exactly step by step how to do it. It's just jam-packed with chart examples. I give a big old shout out to ICT. I'm not restructuring or redoing any of his concepts in there. I actually show you how I've been trading NAS for actually it's been about almost 2 years now, exclusively, without trading a single other asset. So anyways, I wish you guys the best. I hope you stay safe and stay careful for the rest of the year. If you can, just go demo for the rest of the year. I know that's probably not possible for some of you. But other than that, thanks for joining. I appreciate you watching and interacting. Please subscribe if you haven't already, if you watch this after this ends. And God bless you and have a great day. We'll talk soon.